Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to HungerGamers.com. Today is November 15th, 2013, the day of the PlayStation 4 launch. And today we are going to be taking a look at how to set up the privacy settings and the parental controls for the new console. Now, this video assumes a couple of things. First is that you have a PlayStation Network account and have already signed into the PlayStation 4 with that account. The other is that you have updated the software to version 1.5 already, which you need to do in order to sign into the PlayStation Network. So once you've taken care of all of that and gone through the initial setup phases, let's go ahead and take a look at what we can change. Press up to go to the cross-media bar at the top of the PlayStation dynamic menu, and we're going to go over here to Settings. Once in Settings, let's head over to PSN, or PlayStation Network, and we're going to go down to Privacy Settings. Now, you will be asked to sign in to your PlayStation Network account if you have not done so already. We already are, so you will not have to do so. Now, some of these things you were asked to do when you initially set up your console. If you were a little confused as to what they can do, let's go over them in detail. The first is activity sharing. As you'll notice back here on the front of the dynamic menu, you'll see what looks kind of like a timeline, similar to what you would see in Facebook. This gives you an idea of what you've played, what trophies you've earned, and what things are going on, and even some sponsored messages, with the ability to even like some of them to your Facebook account if you want. If you have friends on the PlayStation Network account, their activity, if they choose to do so, will show up here as well, so you can keep tabs on what your friends are doing and watching. That's where the first privacy settings comes in. Activity sharing. So all that information we just saw is part of the activities for the PSN. You can select friend to friends, anyone, friends only, or no one who can see this information. You can automatically share the following activities: videos you watch, like through Netflix or Hulu, or trophies I earn. Once you've made your decision, go ahead and hit confirm. Next up is friends. Select who can view your friends list. Again, the example here is friends of friends, but you can select anyone, friends only, or no one at all. Once you've made your choice, go ahead and hit confirm. Trophies. Select who can see your trophies. Again, options are the same: anyone, friends of friends, friends only, and no one. One interesting feature that they've added is excluding trophies from these games. So let's say you have a game you don't particularly want to show, that you're not proud of owning, or you don't want anyone to see that you're playing. You just go ahead and select the game you want to exclude. So for example, let's say we don't want someone not to see that we've been playing BioShock Infinite or Arkham Origins or 13.2. We just select it and it will be excluded from our trophies list. Once you've made your selections, go ahead and hit confirm. Next up is name and profile picture. This will allow you to share your real name and Facebook profile picture in games instead of your online ID and avatar. And they'll give you an example of what it looks like. There's what my real name is, and there's what my avatar looks like. So you can select to display your full name and profile so it'll look like that, or you can select that. I prefer that. Messages. Select who can send you messages through the PlayStation Network. Again, anyone, friends only, or no one. And last but not least, who can send you friend requests? Anyone, friends of friends, or no one. And that is basically it for the privacy settings. So let's go ahead and back out and let's take a look at the parental controls themselves. Now, before we dive into this, let's go back out to the dynamic menu. I want to take a look at some of these games here. You'll notice we have quite a few already. We have Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Knack, Killzone Shadowfall, and Flower, as well as Contrast. Now, let's take a look at the options for Flower. If you have your PlayStation 4 controller in your hand, go ahead and click Options, and you'll see Delete, Health and Safety, and Information. If you click on Information, you'll see the parental controls are Level 3. Well, what does this mean? Well, let's take a look at another game before we go to the parental controls. Let's take a look at Killzone. This game is rated M for mature by the ESRB, so let's take a look at the options for this. This game is a level 9. So what's the difference between a level 9 and a level 3, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did. So let's take a look under parental controls. Sony has often decided to use what's called a level restriction system for the parental controls. This allows you to restrict games or applications anywhere from level 1 all the way up to level 11. Level 1 is for games that are called RP, or rating pending, means they have not been given a rating by the ESRB. Level 2 are for games that are EC, or early childhood. Level 3 is for E games, everyone. Level 4 is everyone 10 and up, or E10. Levels 5, 6, 7, and 8 are for T games, teen. Now, we're not exactly sure what differentiates a T game from a level 5 to a level 8. However, that will take some experimentation. And again, as we showed you, you will have to select options and information on the game to find out the details. Level 9 is M for mature, and levels 10 and 11 are for AO, adults only. Blu-ray disc. This is where you can set the age restriction for playing a Blu-ray disc that has parental control restrictions. Most Blu-ray discs have a feature in them built into the data that allow you to... Most Blu-ray discs have the feature to be able to restrict its viewing by age. You can find the settings on some standalone Blu-ray players as well as the PlayStation 3 and other playback devices. Oddly enough, the list goes well into the 200s, and as we're pretty sure not too many 225-year-olds are watching Blu-rays, you can select the age limit here. DVD. Some DVDs, not all, have a similar level system. Now, we're still not sure what these levels mean, but again, the lower the level, the tighter the restrictions, so it's safe to assume that 1 is G, 2 and 3 PG, and so on and so forth. If we find a specific ratings table, we'll post this update here in the comments for you. Internet browser. This one is fairly simple. Allow and do not allow. Select new user and log into PlayStation 4. Now, this one will restrict people who are not registered from logging into the PlayStation 4. So if you have someone visiting and you don't want them messing around on your console by downloading their save data, their games, things like that, this is where you would block them. Allow and do not allow. Now, you'll notice as I'm putting in these options, I'm being asked to put in a passcode. By default, the passcode for the PlayStation 4 is 0000, or 4 square buttons. The first thing you're going to want to do is to change this passcode. The current passcode is, of course, 000. After you've done that, you'll be given the option to enter a new passcode, and you'll have to enter it again. The numbers correspond to buttons on the PlayStation 4 DualShock controller, so up, down, left, right, so on and so forth. And that's pretty much it for the PlayStation 4 parental controls. Now let's take a look at them in action. So let's set the passcode for, or actually let's block the internet browser. And let's turn the game levels down to 4 and see what that does for us. Now let's back out to the dynamic menu. Now you'll notice a few games like Warframe, Contrast, Killzone, and Assassin's Creed are blocked. You can't even launch them. Well, there's no disc inserted there, so let's go over to a digital one. Warframe. That's installing. Contrast. Use of this application is not allowed due to parental controls. However, we can still start Flower and Knack if we have the disc inside, as well as Resogun. Worth mentioning is if you have apps in your library such as Netflix, Crunchyroll, Amazon Instant Video, Hulu Plus, Vudu, and so on and so forth, at this point, there really are no options to block these applications. You simply can hit start and go to town and watch any movie you want. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that the best preventative measure for any console is the parent themselves, or the responsible gamer. No system on any console, regardless if it's a Sony console, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii, and so on and so forth, will ever be foolproof to an active and engaged parent. So we encourage you to take a look, spend some time with your kids, ask them questions, play games with them, let them see that you're interested in what they are playing and what they're doing. So that is it for our PlayStation controls. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or snide remarks, please feel free to leave them in the notes below, and we'll be sure to respond to as many of them as we can. Also, feel free to visit hungrygamers.com, where you can take a look at all of our parental control series for the PlayStation Vita, and next week we'll be posting the video for the Xbox One. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Take care.